Hey guys, welcome back to Cheryl K's Cooking Diaries. I thought we would put together some homemade gravy, and I'm going to make this in an iron skillet. So give me just a minute and I'll show you how I put my gravy together. Okay guys, here we go. Alright, I got my skillet here on the stove, and I've got my stove on medium. You want it on medium heat. And what we're going to do is we're going to take some bacon grease. Now I don't use bacon grease very often, but sometimes I do, especially when I'm making my gravy. Ain't nothing no better than a little bit of bacon grease. But I'm going to mix my bacon grease up a little bit because it settles in the little jar. Okay. Now guys, I'm sorry. I can't really give you a measurement on this. This is just me throwing my gravy together tonight. So just add you some bacon grease. You need enough in there now because I'm going to make a little bigger batch. And I add a little bit more flour, you know, when I make a bigger batch, of course. So there's that. And we're going to let that heat up. And I'm going to kind of swirl it around in the pan so it can coat all the pan. Okay. We'll let that get hot, though. You need to let your bacon grease get hot to do this, because we're going to brown our flour. If we need any more, I've always got it right here. And I use a whisk and stir my gravy. Plus, I do use a spatula to kind of rake it off the sides. I got my milk over here ready, and I got my white lily self-rising flour right here ready to go. You can use whatever kind of self-rising flour that you prefer, but I just like white lily. All right, so let me get something to put this flour in the skillet. And I just want to make sure it's hot enough, because you need your skillet pretty hot when you put your flour in there, so it'll start browning it pretty good. Iron gets pretty hot, guys. It really does. All right, there's a heaping tablespoon, anyway, of flour. I'm going to use about, there's 2. I'm about to run out of flour. I'm going to have to go get some more out of my storage. And there's 3. I'm going to do 3 tablespoons, heaping tablespoons of flour. Okay? And then we're going to get ready to stir this. But see, the pan's really, actually not really hot enough, but we're good. I'm just going to go ahead and stir this. And if we need more oil, we'll just get some more, and I think we will. So let's get a little more oil, guys. Gotta have that. Okay. And just scrape that off the sides, and just, I always get it out of my whisk a time or 2. And right now, since it's on the sides like that, I take my spatula, and I kind of go around the edge of the bowl, the pan, and I kind of just rake it in together, the flour and everything. I kind of just rake it in together. All you gotta do. I know some people's, scared about making gravy, but really, guys, you don't have to be. It's not hard to do, and you just have to brown your flour and know that you've got enough oil in there, and I don't have quite enough. I can tell. It looks kind of pasty. So I need to add a little more. This is about the only time that I use bacon grease like this, unless I'm making a little cornbread. But alright, we're just going to stir that in there. We're going to let that brown really good. And we're just going to keep raking it off the pan. Now, you can use a whisk. I do use a whisk, but sometimes I do like my spatulas, because it helps me keep it, off the bottom and everything. So, I'm thinking that's probably going to be right about enough. Flour and oil. And you can use just canola oil if that's what you prefer, but I think it just tastes so good with that bacon grease. Gives it a good flavor, guys. But don't turn your heat up any higher, because you'll burn it. And it will taste burnt. You just want to keep your heat on medium doing this, y'all. Your spatula is the best thing for this part, browning the flour. Now, when you go to put your milk in, then's when you can, really use a whisk. It comes in handy for that, because it helps to whisk your milk in with your flour that you browned. So, but now I like my flour pretty brown, y'all, so that's why I haven't added milk yet, but we're going to here in just a minute. And I'm going to stir this. You don't want to leave it too long without stirring it. Okay. Come on. Getting there, guys. We're almost there with the brownness that I like. Some people like a lighter color gravy. I always heard my mama call it bulldog gravy. That's what she always called black gravy. But everybody calls it something a little different. That way. So, alright guys, we are about there. So, just give it a minute. I like it just a little browner than that. Okay, guys, we'll get to that point. So I'm going to kind of move it off the stove. Because if it starts smoking or anything, you know right then that you need to go ahead and just turn your heat off or back it down a little bit. But move it off the heat and just keep stirring like this. Because it will continue to brown for you. Okay. I'm going to kind of get my flour and everything kind of to the center a little bit. And I'm going to pour my milk in here. And I can't really tell you how much milk. But you want your gravy not real thick. But when you go to pour it, I always take my pan, guys, off my burner. And I'm going to tell you why I do that. Because when you take your pan off the burner, you don't have the chance of your gravy getting lumpy on you. Okay, that's just the way I was always taught. So it's to remove that pan off that burner. And as you can see, this is starting to spread out a little bit better. Then I'm going to pour our milk in here in just a second. Because I didn't want to pour it in right away. I want to let your pan cool just for a second or two. Okay. Let's go ahead and get our milk. Now, when you start pouring your milk in here, guys, what you need to do is you need to stir and pour. Okay? So just stir and pour. Now see, I can tell by the looks of the flour mixture and all, that's not going to be enough milk. Okay? So I'm going to add some more. We're going to see what that does for us right there. And I'm going to scrape the sides so we can get all that flour mixture blended in with our milk. And this is really the best time to use a whisk after you get it off of the sides. Okay. Turn your heat on medium. Continue to whisk. All right, we're going to add more milk because that's see what I mean? How thick that's getting? That's what you don't want that. So you want to add more milk. Don't be afraid to add that milk, guys, because it's going to thicken up. But unless you just get too much. And of course, I splatter it all over the place as I make it. And, you know, I guess that just makes it better. Just splatter it all over. I usually have a mess with it every time I make it. But just continue to whisk this in, guys, and everything will blend in together. You won't have no lumps. Your flour will be blended well. And I've got a video on there, I think, of meal gravy. Now, you make meal gravy similar, but not. You just add cornmeal instead of flour. All right, sorry if I've been your all's way, but add just a little more milk, okay? Because it needs it. Turn my pan around here just a little bit so I can get to it. There we go, it's better. And stir that milk in, okay? Just take your time. This is something you don't have to work fast at. To see how it just keeps getting, you know, it wants to thicken up again. Well, you know, just add just some more milk. And eventually, you'll get your gravy where you want it. Now, I brown my flour, but sometimes I might not have browned it enough. It's a little lighter than normal, but it will still be good. So, but see, we like ours a little thinner. So, I'm going to add more milk. We don't like it extremely thick. Because you want to be able to take your gravy out. You want to be able to just pour it over whatever you're fixing it for or eating on it or with it, I mean. You want it to be able to just pour right out of your ladle or whatever you're using. At least that's my opinion. That's what I say anyway. That's the consistency I always want mine at. Alright, we're going to pour a little more. Because it does take some milk, especially a bigger pan of this. Alright. Now we're getting somewhere. Now it's starting to thin down a little bit better, I believe, y'all. But if you're not careful with gravy, it'll just thicken, you know, when you get to a certain point. But alrighty, guys. I'm about done with this. But I just wanted to show y'all, you know, gravy's easy to make, and it's not hard to do. You just got to practice with it. Because I remember the first time I ever made gravy, my Lord, it was lumpy, and it was thick, and you could patch holes in the street with it and everything. So, I've come a long way with my gravy, guys, when I first started making it. I'm telling you, it was terrible. But I was learning at that time, so. All right, I think we're right about the consistency we want now. So, I'm going to get me another spatula. I'm going to turn the heat off, though, because I don't want it to keep thickening on me, because gravy's kind of like that. It will kind of just keep doing that, keep thickening. So, anyway, let me get over here and kind of get on y'all's light so you can see this. I'm going to take this off the sides. And then I'm going to get ready to pour this into a bowl. And my husband and I are going to put some toast in the oven. And we're just going to pour this over, we're going to put this over steak and Texas toast. Guys, we're going to pour this in the bowl over here. I'll show you better what it looks like. Okay, here we go. We're going to pour this in this bowl here. I hope it holds it all. Let me try to do it this way so y'all can see. And we'll have to have something to rake it with. I knew I'd need that as soon as I got rid of it. So let me kind of rake the rest of this out here. And I'll pour it in the bowl, guys. We want all this good stuff. We don't want to leave none of this goodness behind, that's for sure. Okay. Yeah, it's still too hot to hold, so this way right now, guys, because it's kind of awkward right now. It's delicious. You got to taste it, guys. You just have to when you're making it. That's some good stuff right there. Okay, guys, there is my homemade gravy, and that's what you want right there. You want it to just pour right off of your spoon, just like that. Go for now. I just wanted to show y'all how I make my homemade gravy. So I'm going to go for now, and I'm going to put some Texas toast in the oven, and we're going to toast that, and we're going to make this up a really good little, I guess you say. So anyway, guys, I hope you've enjoyed the video of the homemade gravy. And listen, if you don't mind to go to Cheryl K's Cooking Diaries on Facebook, and like and share and subscribe, or follow, I would appreciate it. And if you don't mind to go to YouTube and like and subscribe there, I would appreciate it. So listen, guys, y'all stay safe, and always remember to keep God in your heart and God in your life. Bye.